currently in my brand new apartment and it's not completely put together just yet. So I will make a video for you. That's the train. I will make a video for you showing you my new workstation and stuff, and I'm almost done but not quite yet, and then maybe a little bit of the apartment. I don't know. There's a train. But rude, right? I am going to jump right into making an art video for you, so you aren't gonna wait until my apartment's done to get a video from me. So I'm going to do the Draw This Again challenge, and I'm going to select a piece of artwork that I've drawn in the past and redraw it to see how much I've progressed and learned as far as art comes along. This is a great exercise if you're feeling down on your art or you don't think that you've improved a whole lot. I highly suggest that you try this challenge if you're feeling down or you don't know what to do, or if you're just trying to get back into the swing of drawing and stuff again, just like I am. I've been practicing and doing a couple of challenges on Tumblr, a palette challenge actually. But yeah, I'm just gonna pick a drawing and then I'm gonna draw it again and see how well that I do. It's been a while. I've been trying to draw again, so we'll see how this goes.
Here I'm showing you my drawing that I picked, and I put it right next to me so I would have it as a reference as I was drawing and working. Now this piece I did about, I want to say 3 years ago, and I put a lot of time into it. I still really enjoy the piece, which is why I was glad I found it when I was unpacking, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do Madame Tentacle's tea party, which is what I called it. But I'm just using it as a reference for the color palette and the general idea of the illustration, but I didn't want to limit myself to just copying exactly what I did before, because the idea of Draw This Again is to, yes, draw what you had previously drawn before, but, you know, as you would approach art now. So I didn't do the very large drawing, and I didn't do it in like a shot that was directly in front of her. I had it to the side. I made her a little bit more, you know, obviously I shortened the table and I focused more on the figure, and I tried to give her a little bit more, you know, movement than just being so stiff. That's one thing that I've been working on, is trying to put a little more flow and movement into my pieces and my characters, whatever I'm drawing, so nothing looks as stiff. So that was one thing that I was really trying to concentrate on redoing as I was doing the piece, was giving it a little bit more life, while the other piece, it was, you know, plenty vibrant and fun. To me, it seemed in the previous drawing that everything was very, I don't know, chip chop, copy paste, you know, what have you. So after I sketched her out, I went back over her with the Pentel pocket brush pen, and I am trying to figure out a new recording angle for this, you know, new setup that I have going on. So bear with me. So I am going to record in this video from a few different angles to see how things go and see what, you know, you guys like, and see and review, like, you know, what works best. But yeah, so oh my, right there my pen had leaked. The one thing that I seem to notice about the Pentel pocket brush pen is that it is awesome, but sometimes there's like this hole. Not sometimes, there's a hole on the side of the end of the brush, and it leaks sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes, like as you saw briefly there, it was getting on my finger and I had to stop and I changed the angle. But yeah, so if you do use it, be careful, because if you grip the brush pen at the end, like I do, then you may, you know, get a little bit of leakage. You don't want to get that on the piece that you just spent all that time drawing. But I tried to take it, I've been trying to loosen back up because I haven't been drawing as often as I wanted to after my move, and I've been really busy at work and feeling tired. but I've been slowly but surely trying to get back into loosening up and drawing. I found that with the pocket brush pen that the best way for me to achieve the lines that I'm most happy with is to take my time. So I've sped this up, obviously, so you aren't sitting here watching me do this forever. But if you're working with the pocket brush pen, take your time. I can't emphasize this enough. I'm sure, you know, I've seen other artists go zoom, 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 pat, 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 and just like bust out these amazing lines and just, they go fast. And I'm sure that with time, you know, going fast took them time, but whatever. We're not here to compare ourselves. If you're just starting out, a lot of people have been asking me for advice on how to use this brush pen, and I'm still not completely 100% satisfied with my own usage, but I do notice that I am happier with my strokes when I wasn't trying to rush things and when I was taking my time, because obviously if you take your time, you're going to get more control over the consistency and the flow, and obviously where the end of the brush goes and how your tapered lines end up going. So I tried not to give her too thick or harsh of lines. That's one thing that I've noticed. I want to, you know, start thinning out my lines a little bit for certain pieces. And I mean, I like the style that I'm getting, but I don't want it to, you know, look too rough. Like I like the almost comic booky feel that I get with the brush pen and my watercolors, but I don't want it to be too rough, you know. So I tried to, you know, obviously go for a tapered look, especially when you get into like the face and the lips and the eyes and like the features, and you know, the thicker you go, the more bolder you go, the darker you go, you're going to get that more rough, hard edge, rugged look. And she's, you know, not rugged at all. Madame Tentakale is an upstanding lady, and she likes having underwater sea parties with tea. See, I replaced tea with C. See what I did there? But yeah, so I afterwards let this dry for a little bit and then went back in, and I still have my reference right next to me. So I stuck with the color palette because obviously I thought out that color palette for this piece a long time ago, and I really liked it. The only thing that I'm going to do differently is how I painted the previous piece was, for each section of color, I pretty much just stuck with one color. I didn't do a whole lot of layering. I was still like, you know, finding my way with watercolors and figuring out what I like doing best with them. And I did do some layering, but my layering was pretty much with the same color or something close to that. Whereas now I will layer with a multitude of colors in any one area, so I get, you know, an effect of the layers and building colors and values with layering. So right now I'm just going in and putting in the first wash. Typically, you know, things are pretty pastel looking. You know, I like to go in lightly first and build instead of like going in with really harsh colors at first. Now I don't mean harsh, I mean like using more pigment. So if you don't have to, when you do watercolors, you don't have to work as lightly as I am starting out. You can absolutely, if you want a brighter or darker experience, all you have to do is just add more paint instead of more water. But you can always add more color later. But if you add too much, you can't take away, but you can always add more. So that's my philosophy, is I like to start light and I work from light to dark. But a lot of people work from dark to light. You do whatever is best for you. But yeah, she started out really pastel-like and really light like the previous thing, but I do go back and I had to, you know, go to sleep because I was getting really tired. I wanted to finish her, but it was, you know, time to start the next day, and I was like, oh no. But yeah, so I went back in and I added, you know, a couple of layers of each color to really make her pop. As much as I appreciate pastel colors, I do enjoy when my colors pop more than a general pastel look. And she's got some nice poppy colors and mint colors, and just all the colors in here make me so happy. But I love the texture look that I got in the background, and I do appreciate how I, did a build of color on the previous, that I'm smoothing out the paper. And a couple people asked how I made it so this paper doesn't wrinkle. And it's in a sketchbook, so after it lays flat for a while, it relaxes. But another way you can do is to gently roll out the paper or put it under a lot of weights, like other books and stuff like that. But yeah. So I went back in on the tentacles, kind of how I did before, just doing like a messy layering of paint. But then I pull, the purple that I used on the tentacles, and I put it in the other cool areas, or the darker areas, to start going in and getting some layering. And that's basically, right now, that's my technique for watercoloring, is basically layering with different hues and colors to achieve the effect of, instead of like mixing the colors right there and then layering them that way, I'll just do one color at a time, and I'll do a light layer of each. And then if you want a certain color to pop more, then you just go back in and add it. But I really wanted, the reds and the warm colors to pop more, and then the cool colors like the purple and the blues and the mints to just really accent her. And I'm really pleased with how she turned out, because I really enjoyed this piece to begin with. So to remake it later, I was really proud of this piece when I had first made it. And I don't not like it, but obviously I know I can do better, but I can just appreciate how much time I put into her, and to see how much I've grown or changed, art-wise. This was the perfect challenge for me to do, especially because I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. And I was kind of feeling down on my art this week. I wasn't really happy with the things that I made, or, I was like, And I'm still not happy with it, but that we're our own worst critics, and we judge ourselves harshly, and I haven't drawn in a long time because obviously I was moving. And thank you all so much for the well wishes for my move. You're amazing, and welcome to the channel if you just joined. I'm going to put out more videos for you in the coming weeks. But yeah, so this was the Draw This Again challenge, where you take an old piece of art and you redraw it again. It doesn't matter how old it is, but it was the perfect thing to get me back into the swing of things. I had a lot of fun, and it makes me step back and appreciate how far I've come. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing if you do, and thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.